Hi everyone, it's Mackenzie Lee here again on the Epic Reads YouTube channel to bring you more recommendations from my bookstore to your bookshelves. So, there are many things I love about my job as a bookseller. However, there is one part of my job that is the actual best part of being a bookseller, which is free books. Oh my gosh, you get so many free books when you're a bookseller. It's like the greatest thing on earth. A lot of these books are advanced early copies, so you get to read books before they come out. I've already read a bunch of books that are coming out this fall, and I'm so excited about so many of them. And so since we are in August, it's almost fall, it's almost moving into sort of the fall book selling season, I'm going to tell you about some fall releases that I've already read that I'm really excited about because I love them, and I think you should put them on your fall TBR. So my first fall book recommendation is An Assassin's Guide to Love and Treason by Virginia Becker. First of all, I feel compelled to say that in spite of the fact that our titles share a similar cadence and structure, this book has no relation to Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, except it is kind of related in the only way that it's related is that they're both like fun historical adventure novels with bisexual narrators. And so if you like Gentleman's Guide, you'll actually probably really love An Assassin's Guide to Love and Treason. So Assassin's Guide to Love and Treason is set in Shakespearean England. It's about a girl named Catherine whose father is murdered because he's helping people who hate Queen Elizabeth. And so Catherine's like, my father is dead. He shall be avenged. I shall finish what you started, father, she says in her Kylo Ren voice. And then she's like, okay, so the thing he was working on was he was going to murder Queen Elizabeth. So guess I got to assassinate Queen Elizabeth now. So how she's going to do that is she's going to dress up as a boy, be an actor in a Shakespeare play, and then murder Queen Elizabeth during the Shakespeare play. Our other narrator is named Toby. He is an actor, grammar, who was studying under Christopher Marlowe. Now he's working for Shakespeare's troupe. He's also a spy. Da-da-da-da-da-da. That's my James Bond music. So obviously these two are going to have conflict, and obviously they're also going to fall in love, but it's going to be complicated because Toby is bisexual and Kit is dressed up as a boy, but she's actually a girl. And usually that's a trope that I really hate in historical fiction, but I really loved how Virginia Becker dealt with it, in that she actually acknowledged that, like, this is confusing for gender identity, and this is confusing for sexuality and things like that, that we don't really get acknowledged in Shakespeare. It's just kind of cross-dressing, and then everybody goes home hetero. It's fine. But that is An Assassin's Guide to Love and Treason by Virginia Becker. I believe it comes out October 23rd. It is super fun. It is super funny. It's just a really sort of spirited historical spy novel set in, like, gross Shakespearean England. My next recommendation for a fall book you should be excited about is Jack of Hearts and Other Parts by Lev A.C. Rosen. This book made me laugh out loud so many times. I also read it in one day. I like downloaded it kind of on a whim off Edelweiss, which is like the bookseller advanced copy delivery system, and then kept looking for excuses all day to be on public transit so I could read it more. So this book is about a boy named Jack. He is in high school. He is gay. He is sort of like a femme gay kind of guy, so he likes heels and glitter and nail polish and things like that, which is not something we see in YA in our gay characters, I feel like, a lot. So he is also very, like, frank about his sex life. He's very sex positive. He's all about, like, he knows what he likes and he knows who he likes it with. He decides to start writing a sex advice column for his fellow high school students, where he answers very positively and very frankly their sexual misadventure questions with stories about his own sexual misadventures. And then somebody starts blackmailing him. And that's terrible, because blackmail is a bad thing, guys. Don't do it. And so he's very worried, and then they have to solve the mystery of who's blackmailing him, but also he's writing this great sex ed column. First of all, I feel like, no, I grew up in Utah, so no sex ed, like, none. If I had had this book in high school, it would have quite literally changed my life. This is like the sex ed course that you never got in high school, and especially it's the queer sex ed course that you never got in high school, which is amazing. Like, there's so much frank sex positive talk in this that's, like, doesn't shy away from being really, really honest about, like, the weird awkwardness but also awesomeness of having sex. This book is super funny. Jack is a super compelling narrator. He just made me laugh and laugh. He has such a strong voice. I also really like the mom in this one, like, A+ mom. And also the friend group that sort of surrounds Jack is really sort of effortlessly diverse in a way that felt really real to me. Like, yeah, we all come from different places, and we all identify in different ways, but that's just part of the many complex things that define us. That's Jack of Hearts and Other Parts by Lev A.C. Rosen, coming out October 30th. Perfect spooky Halloween read. It's not. But you know, it is the perfect spooky Halloween read. Our book number 3, which is The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by Kiersten White. So this book is a sort of reimagining of Frankenstein, but mostly just a look at what the women were doing in Frankenstein while Victor was off being like dramatic and fainting and falling into fevers. So the narrator of this book is Elizabeth Lavenza. She is the cousin / betrothed of Victor Frankenstein. She has gone with her friend Justine to Ingolstadt, which is the most fun word ever to say, so I'm going to say it one more time. She's gone to Ingolstadt to find what has happened to Victor, why he was going to school and now he's just sort of like dropped off the map, and then she becomes sort of tangled up in his monster makings. Frankenstein is a book that gets a lot of criticism for being a book without women. There's a lot of dudes in it, and a lot of these dudes are having a lot of feelings about being dudes, and then there's like the mom, and there's like Elizabeth, and then there's Justine, and none of them have good things happen to them. So I love that Kiersten has taken this book that is very phallocentric, for lack of a better word, and made it about the women, and made it about what the women were doing sort of off-page in Frankenstein. It's also the 200th anniversary of the publication of Frankenstein, which is pretty cool, so this book is perfectly timed for all your Frankenstein-centric celebrations, which I know you're having. I'm celebrating privately. It's also just a really great, spooky, fun Halloween read. So that's The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein, coming out September 25th by Kiersten White. Another recommendation is Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. This book is so spooky. So this book is set on an island where there is a monster that only eats young girls, and because it's girls that are disappearing, everybody's just sort of like, meh, whatever. Except for the trio of ladies who are at the center of our story, and they're like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna find this monster that's eating girls, and we're gonna stop it because nobody else is gonna do it unless we do. This book is so creepy. I said that already, but it's so creepy, and so just sort of like ambiently creepy, which is the best kind for me. It's a great Halloween read. It's also a really great feminist horror read, which I don't feel like we have enough of. Claire Legrand is just like generally killing it this year, between Furyborn, which was fantastic and super feminist, then Sawkill Girls, which is fantastic and super feminist, and also just a lot of other super queer feminist stuff she has in the pipeline. I'm just really obsessed with everything she's doing right now, and if you're not watching Claire Legrand, you should be, but not in a creepy way, because I don't think she'd appreciate that. That's Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand, which comes out October 9th. My next recommendation is It's Kind of an Epic Love Story by Karen Callender. Callender. I don't know, both of those are real words, and I don't think either of those are their last name. Sorry. This is Kind of an Epic Love Story. It's about a boy named Nate who is having romantic crises in that he dated his best friend turned girlfriend turned back to best friend and is still having complicated feelings about her. Then in trying to get over her, his like childhood best friend shows up and that complicates things. This book is super queer. It is super diverse. I'm pretty sure like everybody's a POC in it. Also everybody's queer in some capacity. Nate's like a bi/pan protagonist that starts out the book by having just come off a relationship with a woman, which is, I don't think we talk about very much, is that being bisexual or being pansexual means you can date somebody of the opposite gender. Like, you can have that sort of relation. We don't talk about that. It's like, support bi and pan people until they're dating someone that makes them look like a heterosexual, and then we're not interested in their stories anymore, which is BS. So this book is great. It's super funny. It's super voicey. It's just like a great queer POC-laden rom-com. Also, Karen Callender is an editor, too, and they're doing just generally great things in every capacity. They also just had a book called Hurricane Child come out, which is phenomenal. So please, please, please look up Karen Callender if you do nothing else. Look at what they're editing, look at what they're writing, and then read This Is Kind of an Epic Love Story, which is available October 30th. So, my final book that I'm very excited about for fall is The Disasters by M.K. England. The Disasters is like, I think it was pitched as Breakfast Club meets Guardians of the Galaxy, which is like a perfect pitch for this. The book is set on an off-planet military academy, space pilot academy thing. It follows a young pilot named Nax. Nax is bisexual. He's also, Persian, Iranian. Oh, I hate that I can't remember. That makes me so sad. But Nax is from somewhere in the Middle East. So again, yay diversity. Nax is enrolled in this academy school elite fighter pilot training. He's a really good pilot, much like my beau Anakin Skywalker, except he fails. Within like one day, he gets kicked out of the school. So he's on a transport back to Earth with a bunch of other misfits who have failed out of the school for various reasons, when suddenly the base is under attack ha! And there are terrorists that are attacking their base, and they escape, but they're the only survivors. And then because they're the only survivors, they become the perfect scapegoats to blame this terrorist plot on, because there are nefarious things happening within the government. But this book is super funny. It's super like that sort of like that. It fits into that like stock category of like the misfit gang that comes together to do sci-fi hijinks in the great tradition of like Firefly and Guardians of the Galaxy and things like that. I loved how much diversity there is among the crew. There is a black gay guy, there's a transgender girl, there's Nax, who's bisexual, I'm pretty sure he's Persian, bi and Persian. It's just in general a really diverse, really interesting, really funny, smart sci-fi read. That's The Disasters, coming December 18th by M.K. England. So that's my list of fall books that I have already read and I'm super excited about and think you should be excited about too. Let me know in comments if there are any books that you are excited about that I did not include on this list. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Epic Reads on YouTube. You can also follow me at The Mackenzie Lee on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time for more recommendations from my bookstore to your bookshelves.